You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. I appreciate all y'all so much for still being loyal to my channel. I got so many projects going, y'all, so it's been limiting me from being able to upload as much as I would like. But nevertheless, I just want to get into it right away. I don't want to waste a lot of time, so y'all know how it is. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into this, right? I rarely ever do content when it, for the most part, when it comes to talking about, violence, gang violence, gun violence. I've touched on these topics here and there, but I don't really speak on these type of issues a whole lot. But however, I am aware that there is a lot of things that are going on outside of the content that I normally, even address or speak upon. But I felt like this is one of those times that I definitely should, in this instance, speak upon it, because it does affect the black community, especially those of us who are parents, those of us who got daughters, and especially those of us who have sons. As we know, everyday black men, especially young black males under the age of 21, are dying rapidly, and unfortunately it's by the hands of other young black men as well. So as much as we want to preach and speak about how Black Lives Matter, the truth is it does not when it comes to our own community. We only want Black lives to matter when it comes to police brutality, when it comes to other racist issues that may involve a black person losing their lives. But very rarely do we make an issue out of Black Lives Matter when it's our own black lives that are taking black lives. You get what I'm saying? It's black people that are taking black lives. You feel me? So basically that's what I'm saying, right? So for all of y'all who are classics like me, my classic individuals are those of us who are in between the age range of 40 through 55, okay? So a lot of us are not really big on the hip hop artists today. We don't really, connect with the new genre of hip hop, which has changed significantly. Like I said, I'm a 70s, early 80s babies, so most of the hip hop genre I'm familiar with is from the early 80s, mid 80s, early 90s. I'll say probably to the early 2000s when I graduated high school, 1999. So I'm pretty much stuck in that era of music, okay? I'm in the era of Wu-Tang, LL Cool J, it's so many I can't think of. But anyway, let me get right to the point, because it's just so much that follows with this story, right? So anyway, we know, if y'all are not familiar, I apologize if I'm slow at this, right? But I'm trying to break this down as simple as I can, especially for those of us who don't know nothing about this type of music genre, this new form, this new art of hip hop, if that's what you want to call it, known as drill rap, okay? From my understanding, drill rap, I consider it as kill rap, because in most instances, the young artists that perform excuse me that perform this type of music now, we know beef is nothing new under the sun. Hip hop has always had some level of other artists that had some type of animosity or had some type of conflict with other artists like LL Cool J and Cannabis, Nas and Jay-Z. But this new generation of hip-hop now, they're actually unaliving or putting into terms, setting up other people to put in work to basically rid off, other artists and who they are foes with, or who they consider to be ops. You get what I'm saying? So it's the same. It's the same shit but different toilet, basically, right? So it's this young man by the name of Julio. Never heard of him. Never knew who he was, y'all. Not until, he met his untimely demise, and that's only because I'm a classic sister. I don't know a whole lot about, this drill music, okay? I don't know a lot of the artists, right? So, nevertheless, he lost his life. He's a drill rapper from Jacksonville, Florida, and to put it in simpler terms, he was not well liked by other individuals. Although he was very popular with his music, although he did have friends and people who did support him, there was a lot of other individuals, which was his ops on the other hand, who did not support him, who did not rock with him. And unfortunately, this was one of the reasons why he ended up meeting his demise so early at such a young age. But I'm not going to go into all the politics of gang culture. I know somewhat about it. I don't know a lot about it. The purpose of me doing this content is to speak as far as in the terms of what these individuals who are going to be facing some type of conviction sooner than later after this young man's passing, what they have to look forward to when they enter the actual penal, meaning the correctional institution, the jail, the system. That's basically where I'm coming in at, just to give y'all a visual sense of what these young individuals who probably never experienced, because from my understanding, the youngest one that's being given one of the charges, he's 18, which means he's probably never been in jail or prison, but probably juvenile. But now he's old enough where he's actually going to go to jail and prison. The other two are 21 years old. One is a female. One is 27 and the other one is 30. So I would not be surprised if the 27-year-old and the 30-year-old is, it won't be their first time they have had this type of, issues as far as run-ins with the law. Most habits are habitual. But I'm just going to go ahead and play the footage, right? That way y'all can just kind of, get a better idea as to what I'm speaking in reference towards, because it's a lot to the story. It's a lot that's unfolding, and it's a lot that is still unfolding. It's going to continue to keep unfolding and unraveling as the investigators in the law get more deep rooted into the investigation. So things are going to keep changing. There's going to be people that are probably, going to snitch most likely and not have to do the time. There's going to be other ones that are going to be called out, that are going to be brought in. So y'all know how this goes. This pretty much comes with the territory, right? But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play the footage, and we are just going to go from there. Now, due to the copyright issues, I am going to minimize it and interject and intervene. Not only that, because I do have to practice the Fair Use Act. A part of the Fair Use Act meaning that if you're going to use somebody's content, you cannot just play it straight on out. You have to reiterate on it. You have to give your own intake on it, or else you do face a chance of getting a copyright strike. So I'm going to be interrupted and intervening a lot. And if that's something you're not interested in, you just want to see it all the way through, I advise you to check out some other content creators who are also addressing this issue, where they play everything thoroughly, all the footage all the way through, so there's no interruptions. But in my case, I'm gonna have to interrupt. So let's go ahead and get this footage going, y'all. Let me see if I could blow the screen up. Okay, all right, let me try it this way. Hold on, y'all. It's acting a little. So I'm going to just go ahead and do it this way. Yeah, I'll just probably play it like this. That's why I love the screen share.
so it's ridiculous. I never condoned it, never condoned drill music. I don't condone the killing or none of that type of stuff.
The mother of a Jacksonville rapper who was killed in Tampa condemns the violence that led to her son's death. Good evening, I'm Keith Kate.
I'm Jennifer Lee. Thank you for joining us. The artist, whose real name is Charles Jones, was gunned down in June outside a hotel across from the USF campus. This evening, arrests have been made. We are also seeing dramatic new video of what happened that night. News Channel 8's Georgia MacArthur joins us now live from the Tampa Police Department with the very latest. Georgia.
Keith and Jen, Charles Jones' mother drove here today from Jacksonville with a plea to end the violence surrounding her son's death. She told me watching the video was hard, but Tampa police say the video proves the suspects drove here to Tampa with murder on their minds.
I'm very relieved.
Fans knew him as Julio Fulio, but to his mother, Cendricus Mays, he was simply her son, Charles Jones.
So this is, the rapper goes by the name of Julio Fulio, birth name Charles Jones, who was unalived by the individuals, and that is the main issue at hand. So I'll let the video continue out, y'all.
On June 23rd, police believe Jones was trying to get a room at the Holiday Inn Hotel after he was kicked out of an Airbnb while celebrating his 26th birthday. Dramatic video captures the moment Jones was ambushed inside his car by 3 suspects.
As you all can see, it did look like a movie. It was planned out.
This is his mother, by the way, Julio Fulio's mother that's speaking.
And I'm just happy that I finally get a little relief that these guys have been caught.
Today, Tampa police announced the arrest of 3 suspects connected with Jones' murder. They believe they are members of rival Jacksonville gangs that came together to plan and carry out the murder in Tampa.
Tampa is not where you want to come to settle a dispute.
As for Jones' mother, she has a message too.
My son has been rapping since 8 years old. Charles have more music than drill music. Charles has different type of music, but the fans, that's what they glorify. That's what they like. That's what they make go viral.
But Mays says she never glorified the violence.
Please don't say that it comes from home, because it doesn't come from home at all. I'm a nurse. I have helped many people in my city with careers. Charles' sister got her master's in education.
Okay, and these are the other 2 individuals, y'all. Mr. Rashad Murphy was just apprehended recently, so they're down to just 1, which is Davion Murphy. This is the only other individual they're looking for. This is older footage, y'all, so like I said, as this case goes on, it's going to unfold more and more and more and more. Things are going to keep changing up, okay?
Police have issued warrants and are currently searching for 2 other men, 30-year-old Rashad Murphy and 27-year-old Davion Murphy, who they say are responsible for shooting Jones. Both men are considered armed and dangerous. If you know anything as to their location or where they may be hiding, you are asked to call Tampa Police. Reporting live in Tampa, Georgia MacArthur, 8's on your side.
Okay, this clip, y'all, by the way, fair use. Anything I say in this content is based off of my own opinion for educational and entertainment purposes only. Now, with all due respect, Julio Fulio was not a clean-cut individual. As a matter of fact, before he met his demise, he did a video recently mocking some ops. Either he personally has some involved in their deaths, or either he was aware and sent other people on assignment to do the job for him. But he is also known, unfortunately, for being a part of the very thing that caused him to meet his ultimate demise. So for y'all to get a better understanding as to what type of artist he is and what type of individual he is, I have also included these clips so y'all can also hear that he too, did not have much empathy for his ops, and this is the reason why a lot of his surviving ops don't have any empathy for him.
shout out to Sis, you know we the latest. You talking about ops, but bitch, I'm the biggest. I got the key, I got the ticket. Let's talk about ops, let's talk about drilling. Let's talk about dead ops. I got a list, name one by one. They all got blitz. I need y'all to listen and pay attention.
Okay, and this song here, y'all, he's definitely going to be, I mean, he's very skilled. I mean, I got to hand him that. But in this particular song, y'all, he's going to be providing a lot of information about all of the individuals who he was enemies with and how a lot of them, you know, became unalived. And he's basically gonna let you know all of that throughout this whole song. Now, I'm not gonna play the whole song, but I'm gonna play just enough for y'all to at least get you know, a general idea as to how this young man got down. But let's go.
I'm tired of the acting, I'm tired of the gimmicks. Five got hit in the head, he tried to swim at the pool. Big baby got caught in the morning on the bus, was going to school. Corn had died in the suburbs, remember that shit hit the news. Talk got hit in his top, down here to the attitude. Cause something that boy was a fighter, but he got lit like a lighter. When Sean died getting food, I heard it pulled out like a diaper. Hey, I heard Limber was flying, he died with stripes like a tiger. Hey, Shondell got kidnapped, he should've paid like a Bible. And Bendo died together, I'm smoking smash forever. Acapulco died here, feather. Heard they called Nate and they strapped him. Put that hot shit in their life. Lil Sugar died on the bike. On cloud used to be home, but I'm still smoking no mic. Malcolm died on second, say they told his bitch ass to listen. Corbin got kidnapped, how the fuck a grown man go missing? Elvis ass, he was snitching. Either way, he was gonna get it. I'm smoking my own cousin, goddamn, I'm hiding Willie. Can't forget 23, Quan and 4 in the back seat. Hey, Ace only one survive, shit, that nigga blessed if you ask me. If you
I can name over 30 dead off, no cap.
This is fair use, y'all.
Eating and leaking.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing, I'm homebound.
I heard who I smoke, I was in they hood the same night. I'm trying to get a dog to the arms, let's play Fortnite. Sure got killed, no he wish he had a new bike. Nate got killed, no he wish he had a new life. See it so you smoke, fast feature, that's a new pack.
Now this young man that's flowing right now, he's one of the ops of Julio Fulio, okay? Now this is what they do, this is how they communicate their animosity or beef towards one another. They do it through their music. Obviously this is the new way how they do things, okay?
So died with himself in, he ain't shoot back. 3 niggas died in one night, his whole crew out. Corbin sweet as hell, got his grown ass kid out. You heard about La Buster, man, they caught him broad day. Buster, Prosper, and Latte, they got did the same way. God damn, just should've ducked, shot his ass all in the face. Should've smoke, squash and beef, told his ass come out and play smoke. I can't forget the spaz, heard they did his ass bad. Leaker died on that fake lean and he crashed. Music tried to run, but his ass ain't do the dash. Can't forget about the fire, heard his top got tagged.
This is sad, y'all. Talented young black males, you know, all of them are lyrically skilled. They could utilize their talent in so many other ways. I really hate this for them. I really hate this for all of them. But this is the new world we in, y'all. Welcome to the new world.
And that whole verse right there for them east side bitch ass niggas, all that clicking under. We finna switch to the west. Hey. Who I smoke, Lil Leaky. Who I smoke, Big Mitchy. Who I smoke, Lil 2 3 Wonder. Hey, you a bitch, swear to God ain't get no clap back. When Bo got killed, boy, his face was all in your line. 2 times died, you was crime, make a Snapchat. 4 niggas hit, 3 died, that's some new pack.
It seems like all the Jacksonville rappers who have a name are no longer in Jacksonville but you. You know, all the other rappers that got a name, the Nardo Wicks, the Youngin Aces, the J. Breezes, the Spot'em Got'ems, everybody who has some type of motion is not in Jacksonville, but you, it seems like you just decide to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, is that legal issues? Is that because you love the city? Is it females? Is
Nah, after I got out house arrest this year and probation and shit, it just be like, when I be out of town, it's like, I just be missing, like, I be thinking about my dead homeboys. I be thinking about some of my brothers that can't leave the city because they leave the situations. Like, it's just so much shit I be thinking about it. I would probably, let's say, like, it's home sickness. I don't know. It's just like I know how to, I ain't gonna say I know how to move in my city. I just love my city, but that'd be like people biggest downfall type shit.
Now, ironically, the interviewer was asking him, you know, why is he still in Jacksonville, you know, even though that's where he was homegrown, knowing that he has all of these enemies and, you know, all of the other rappers who had the same issue. They don't even live in Jacksonville. And basically, he's saying, this is my home. This is where I want to be. This is where my family, this is where my friends are. So he was just one of those young men that he was not, I guess, going to run away or, you know, isolate himself from the very thing that he knows eventually was going to be the cause of him meeting his demise. And he even said it. So he's smart enough and wise enough to know that being in that area is risky. But, you know, this generation here, you know, they got all the warning signs, but they tend to ignore those red flags. And it could be ego, you know, or it could just be the fact that, you know, they don't want to keep running from their problems. So we'll continue playing this song out, y'all.
Julio Fulio on what he wants to be remembered as when he dies.
In the event you do pass away, what do you want to be remembered for?
As a funny, good-hearted young man who loved his people. I think about death every day. Like, I could die today, or I could lose one of my daughters today.
Are you afraid of it? Why not? Some people are.
Like, I done been shot before and so I done seen death a couple times, but no matter who you is, bro, anybody could die. You could die wherever, whenever, however.
When it comes to death, is it something you're financially prepared for?
Yeah, I got life insurance, so I'm gonna be straight.
Some people also have a will.
I don't got that. I got a little money set aside, but I ain't got a will.
4 shot, 3 dead in the worst way. Damn, he kept this on me. What happened?
Now this right here, this particular song was the song in which he was actually making a mockery out of his ops who passed away before him. Okay, so this is one of those songs that really blew up, you know, because there was so much controversy surrounding it. But unfortunately, this also is the song that has created his karma. You know, a lot of times the energy you put out there is the energy you put back, and it's unfortunate. But he was making a mockery out of other young black males who was unalive before him. So, like I said, this is just how they operate these days.
We smoking 23. You always on my mind. You always on my mind. When I ride through the east side, I wanna see you.
Right now at 5, 3 people have been arrested in the murder of a local rapper, and police are still searching for 2 more suspects. Charles Jones, also known as Julio Fulio, was murdered in Tampa last month while celebrating his birthday.
News for Jax reporter Janice Harris is joining us live in the studio with these new details. So, Janice, how did these shooters know where Jones was located?
Well, according to Tampa Bay Police and the chief of police there, they followed his steps and probably followed him on social media as well as he was celebrating his birthday in that city. Tampa Police said 5 people in total plotted and planned to kill Charles Jones following every step he made while celebrating his birthday and posting on social media. Tonight, 3 of those people are in the Duval County Jail, and police are still searching for 2 more. As Charles Jones, known as Julio Fulio in the music industry, was celebrating his birthday, he was being followed by 5 people. Tampa Police Chief Lee Burklaw explained.
A little more than a month ago,
Fair use for educational purposes only.
a group of individuals with the goal of premeditated murder traveled from Jacksonville to Tampa to commit a heinous crime in our city.
This is surveillance video of multiple gunmen ambushing and shooting Jones.
They are shooting at Charles now, and you can see that he's the passenger in that car that's moving and trying to flee. And again, they're still shooting at him. He's the right front passenger in that vehicle.
Using 3 weapons, Jones died shortly after the shooting. Tampa homicide detectives and JSO worked together to find the shooters. Investigators say the five took extreme measures to cover up their crimes, but failed. 21-year-old Elisa Andrews, 21-year-old Isaiah Chance, 18-year-old Sean Gaithright, 30-year-old Rashad Murphy, and 27-year-old Davion Murphy are all accused of playing a role in Jones's death. And they're all facing one count of murder in the first degree and one count of conspiracy.
Surveillance video was critical in this investigation, as suspects were seen on video following Jones from location to location. This shows the lengths that these individuals were willing to go through and achieve that this murder would occur.
4:15 a.m., Jones is headed to a hotel on McKinley Road in Tampa. One suspect's vehicle follows Jones to the hotel, but stayed parked across the street.
At 4:38, 3 shooters exit a vehicle and walked in the direction of the hotel. They murdered Jones with a handgun and 2 rifles.
3 others were hurt. Jones and others in the car attempt to flee from the gunfire as the shots continue. Police say the gunmen were Gaithright and the 2 Murphy men. The 3 arrested are affiliated with 2 rival groups of Jones. Police say they worked together to carry out the murder. Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters has a message for those that choose to glorify violence.
Florida, Tampa, JSO, Jacksonville, Miami, wherever you are, will not tolerate foolishness, will not tolerate shootings and needless violence. We not make excuses for poor decisions.
Chief Burkhoff says the investigation is not over as police and the U.S. Marshal.
They only caught this one. This one is still on the run, y'all. Davion is still on the run. I don't advise you to try to apprehend this suspect yourself. If you see him, hey, only thing I can tell you is be cautious because he don't have nothing to lose at this point.
Are still looking for the 2 Murphy men. State Attorney Susie Lopez works in Hillsborough County, and her office will prosecute this case. Lopez acknowledged that this violence, it is disruptive and has gone on between at least 2 groups for years. But she said the fight stops here. Coming up at 6, we will hear more from the state attorney for the 13th Judicial Circuit and why this investigation, they say, is not over.
Turn yourself in. That is the message Sheriff T.K. Waters had for a man named Davion Murphy, the only one a suspect in the murder of Jacksonville rapper Charles Jones, known as Julio Fulio. His cousin, Rashad Murphy, was arrested in Jacksonville early this morning. Here's some brand new video that you see there from the sheriff's office showing when they took him into custody. It appears to be an apartment complex there. 3 others were arrested earlier. News4Jax reporter John Acebas has been covering the story since Fulio's murder. He spoke with a person who saw police.
So this is one of the Murphy individuals. I don't know if they're cousins or brothers. I'm assuming they're cousins. So they captured one, but like I said, the other one is still in.
Julio Fulio was in and opening fire last month. The cameras tell the story.
And presumably the car he was in, the front windshield was, I counted 11 gunshot holes to the windshield.
Michael Callanan is a freelance photographer. He was just minutes away from where the shooting happened.
The first responders were just arriving. Actually, when I was arriving there, a couple were already on scene.
More than a month later, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and Tampa Police believe they know who the people are that are responsible and started taking them into custody.
Tonight at 6, these 3 people are all facing murder charges in the death of Jacksonville rapper Charles Jones.
Isaiah Chance.
Back up. Back up.
Alicia Andrews.
Put your hands behind your back.
And Sean Gaithright.
Keep coming.
All believed to be rival gang members were arrested. Then Monday night, another arrest. Rashad Murphy was walked out in handcuffs from a West Side apartment complex in Jacksonville. Sheriff.
Now, how long he thought, with his face being plastered all over the news, y'all, how long he thought he was going to be able to hide in a public apartment complex? Like, really?
TK Waters says all they're looking for now is his cousin, Davion Murphy.
I would suggest that you turn yourself in and come to Jacksonville, come to JSO headquarters and turn yourself in. Let's have a discussion.
When I first spoke with Callanan, it was the morning after.
It ain't gonna be no discussion. It's gonna be an arrest.
After the shooting, it wasn't until the next day he learned who the man who was killed was.
So I came home, went to bed. That afternoon, I guess. I woke up and I received a text from somebody saying, hey, that was Julio. Can you give us kind of some last thoughts to digest about this? To wake up in the afternoon and realize it was somebody of notoriety. It was just, I was kind of like, wow, this is kind of crazy.
John Acebus, Channel 4, the local station.
Straight.
Alright, y'all, I'm pretty much gonna pause it here. It's just gonna pretty much show them, being escorted to the back of the jail, which they're gonna take them first to the investigation room, how that goes. So this is where I come in there at, right? FYI, I think it would be better if y'all check out other content creators that specialize in this type of content. They have a more thorough breakdown if you want to know more details pertaining specifically to the Julio Fulio case. First on my list, one of my one of the channels that I'm subscribed to goes by the name of Hood Educated. He's very, very good at speaking on how violence, gun violence, and things of that nature that affect black males in the black community. He's really, really good, and he gives a lot of solid advice. So I really like Hood Educated. Check him out. Let him know Mocha sent you there. Let people know when I recommend a channel that I sent you. I just like to give people their respect, their flowers. So check out Hood Educated. Check out Trap Lore Ross. Okay, Trap Lore Ross. He also has content on this. KB Goes Live. Cut to the Chase is also really, really good. Check his channel out. He speaks about this in Trenches News. So check out these guys, right? Again, this is what they specialize in. They got that real pure cut street knowledge, okay? But this is where I'm going to come in at, because again, y'all know I have prior experience as a law enforcement correctional officer. So I'm basically going to speak in terms of what they are going to be encountering now that they are entering inside the penal, the correctional institution, meaning the criminal justice system. Now, a lot of y'all, I'm sure y'all are aware of basically the basic things that that's pretty much stating the obvious. We know that you go to jail. You have rules, you have restrictions. We know you limited to eating dog food. We know the basic scenario of what entails with going to jail. Once you're finally going to be living there, meaning this is a part of your new journey. This is a part of your life, okay? But I'm here to give y'all the other tedious yet significant elements of what consists of adjusting to the criminal justice system as an inmate that has to reside in the county jail until you actually go to trial by jury, become sentenced, and then you're transported to the prison. So I'm giving you a visual description of how the inside of the jail works. If you're not into this type of thing, you have no interest in jail or the mindset of what inmates may go through once they are actually incarcerated, then this may not be one of those top-notch, top-tier content of the day that you would probably want to listen all the way through, okay? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to speak much on the story, but basically I gave y'all the summary of the story, and I'm going into what these individuals now, what they have signed up for, what's going to be their day-to-day daily life, things that they don't always discuss in these jail documentaries, things that they don't always discuss in this content. So anyway, as y'all can see, they are now property of the state, okay? Meaning their life is no longer theirs. They don't have a life anymore. Any life they live from here on out is going to be as another number, okay? Because it's one thing getting incarcerated for shoplifting, you know, or probation violation, something minor. But whenever you unalive somebody, for every life comes life, you know, for the most part. And in this instance, because it's a high profile case, they're not going to take it lightly. And Florida has always been a very, very strict state. So they're going to pretty much nail them to the cross. And I think at this point, Florida is just is totally upset and over, you know, gang activity, gang crimes. So they're going to make an example out of these individuals now. Allegedly, I'm not sure, but supposedly they're saying Andrews, the female, has been released. I don't know. Anybody want to come in the comment section and confirm that or whatever? That's your personal business. They said supposedly, allegedly, but I didn't get a chance to look into that. So she may still be there, may not. Supposedly, they said she really had nothing to do with it, but they know wholeheartedly Sean Gathright and Isaiah Chance, even though he wasn't a trigger man, he was still involved, you know, in this case. So time will tell. Like I said, this case is new. It's going to keep unfolding. It's going to be other arrests that's going to come up. Other people who may not have a direct involvement may get released. So it's really sketchy. It's real sticky at this point. Either way, it's not a good look, because even if these individuals, by chance, by the grace of God, was to go back home and get released, which I don't see that happening, their life on the outside is not going to be the same, because y'all know what comes with this gang life. If the law enforcement don't get involved, the streets are going to get involved anyway. You get what I'm saying? It's called street retaliation. You know, if the law don't do anything about it, the streets are going to handle it anyway. So either way, any of these individuals involved, whether they are presumed innocent at this point, the ops and those who have a loyalty to Julio Fulio is not going to care. So they still better be very mindful of what they're going to be dealing with at this point in time. Oh, my bad, y'all. My phone keeps slipping. All right. So basically, now that they are part of the system, they're going to be changing out. Of course, they'll never wear regular clothes ever again in life. They will only be wearing a uniform with their number assigned. They will no longer even be considered individuals. They will no longer even be considered citizens. They're just going to be considered numbers. Matter of fact, every time you step out that cell, they want to know your number. They don't even care about your name. You're just a number. Okay, you're just another obligation that the state is going to be obligated to having to pay for out of their taxes, right? So now that they have entered these facilities, the realities that they're going to be facing is that, for one, these same individuals who you was down by law with, when y'all actually went and executed this man's unaliving, you're never going to see them again. Okay? Just realize that although you and your crew, y'all may do the crime together, but y'all not going to do the time together, meaning y'all are not going to be assigned in the same unit, so, or the same jail for that matter. But in most cases, county jails, wherever that crime was conducted, most likely you're going to be sent to the jail in that county. Now, when it comes to the prison, that's when they spread y'all all about, and far out from each other. But most likely, a group of individuals who have committed a unaliving together, they're most likely all going to be assigned to the same jail. However, they are never going to see each other ever again. So any other arrestees or any other potential suspects who are called into question and they have any evidence that they had any type of involvement in this, they are never going to see each other ever again. Okay, so keep in mind that if you decide to rob a bank with somebody tonight and y'all get caught by Monday or whatever, them same people who you plotted to rob that bank with, realize that once y'all get incarcerated, you're not going to see them again. There's not going to be any means of contact, right? So what's going to happen is, because these individuals are involved in a high profile, they automatically have to separate them, okay? With the female, that's obvious. She can't be housed with the men, so that we know. The guys, on the other hand, most jails, if they have any sense of wanting to decrease the likelihood of safety of the officers, safety of other inmates, they're going to do their damnedest to keep these individuals apart. Anytime you have a group of people who have committed an act together, the jail knows it's a liability if they allow y'all to be in close perimeter. So what's going to happen is the classification department, classification are the individuals who work within the jail, and they decide where each individual is going to be housed. So because this is a high profile case, they cannot be nowhere near each other. They cannot be in the same unit. They cannot be in the same wing. And it's for many reasons, because if y'all committed a crime together and they house y'all in the same unit, y'all commit crimes within the jail together. Y'all will beat up another inmate together. Y'all will steal from another inmate together. Y'all are a liability at this point. So they're not going to allow any of these individuals to be housed in the same area. For several reasons, like I said, it's a liability for the staff and the inmates. The other reason is because they still have this trial. The case is still pending. They don't want these individuals coming close together, being able to coerce one into changing the story, or, tampering with evidence, on the outside. Basically calling somebody, hey, I think so-and-so has something to do with this, y'all need to unalive him. So they're going to keep these individuals apart. Yeah, y'all did all that riding and laughing together. Y'all drove 4 hours from Jacksonville to Tampa to unalive this man. I mean, for 4 hours, nobody said, hey, y'all, I know we mad and we may be in the heat of the moment, but come on now. We talking about we all could be facing a life sentence. This guy's well known. He's high profile. Is it worth it? We got kids, we got family. Everybody was down by law, so the law is definitely going to look at it like this is definitely premeditated, because y'all had over 3 hours to change your mind, turn that car around and say, you know what, it ain't worth it. For y'all to go that far for that long, y'all had y'all mind made up that y'all was going to carry it out. It just goes to show y'all, when somebody really has it out for you, they're going to get you. It does not matter how far you travel. You may not even be thinking about them. I'm sure Julio was nowhere thinking about this could be the day, but it happened, right? So that's the first thing. You're going to be separated. The only time they will ever see each other again is when it's time for them to go to a hearing, or when it comes to that main trial. And even with the hearing, the jail is going to be smart. and they're going to make sure they don't even transport them in the same van. They don't even go the same time. If they do go the same time, they're going to have them in separate vans. They're going to have them, you know, in separate rooms within the courtrooms. They're not going to be nowhere near each other. That drive that they did for 4 hours, they're not going to see each other no more. That's over with, right? So whatever little love or bond they had in friendship, you know, if this female was going with any one of them, she's never going to see them again. I have a feeling she's probably a girlfriend of one of them. That's just my intake. But that's the first thing, right? The next thing is, once they assign you, they're going to evaluate you. Classification evaluates you after the nurse checks you out. The nurse makes sure you don't need any medication, make sure you don't need insulin, anything to put in your health profile during your duration in jail. If you have to take certain medicine, the jail is going to make sure they accommodate you with whatever medication you need. That is their job. So if you need high blood pressure pills, you required if part of your medical condition is you have to take insulin, or you have to take high blood pressure pills, anything, they're going to see to it that you get your meds daily. Now it's up to you if you take it or not. If you refuse to take it, the nurse is going to document you refuse. That way she's covering her ass in the event something goes wrong and you lie and say you haven't been given your medicine, because a lot of these new offenders come there thinking they could run game, anything, thinking it's going to get them out of jail, and it's just not, you know. But anyway, they create your profile. They ask you your religion. Are you Muslim? Are you Christian? All of that, you know, they ask you all of that. Of course, they ask you if you have any gang affiliation. Do you have any enemies? Do you have any? They ask you all of that because they want to the best of their ability, prevent you from becoming a safety hazard to that jail. And also, they have to protect the inmate. They're supposed to, but we know that isn't always the case. So they ask you 1,000 questions, not because they like you or are concerned about you, but it's just to make sure they don't house you and put you anywhere with other individuals that you can possibly become a safety hazard to, right? So not only that, they have to ask you if you have any ops or enemies, and if you try to lie, 9 times out of 10 they're going to be able to recognize by the tattoos, you know, on your skin. They're going to be able to tell, you know what I mean, that you know, most likely you are in some type of gang activity, you know what I mean. So they're definitely not going to let you by no means, you know, be in the same unit with anybody that is a possible gang member, affiliate of yours. So they cannot be in the same gang as you, and also they cannot be in gangs that have beef with your gang. The jail doesn't want that kind of smoke. It doesn't want that kind of heat, you feel me? So they're going to do what they got to do to protect, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, I'm getting ready to put this as my thumbnail in case y'all wondering what the hell I'm doing. You get what I'm saying? But that's what I'm doing, right? So anyway, they're going to do all of that because, again, they don't want you to be a risk, your safety, or the safety of the staff members of that jail. These jails, they rarely have enough of officers. They're very short staffed. They can't take a chance, you know what I mean, and have the inmates outnumbering the staff, you know, outnumbering those who have to be in regulation of the safety of that jail, right? So they're going to decide what unit to put you in based off your religion, based off your gang, definitely based off your severity, you know what I mean? If you're just in there for child support, they want to try to put you somewhere where you're not in the same, assigned to the same unit with people who got nothing to lose, like somebody who in there for unaliving somebody, or somebody who in there for raping someone. That's another reason how they categorize you. They don't want to put you in a situation, especially in the jail. Now, prison is different. They want you to be able to go to your trial safely. They want you to be able to be released safely, especially if you have something minor. They rarely going to house you with somebody who doesn't have anything to lose. But don't take this as a guarantee, because jails are so short staffed. They don't have the ability to separate a lot of people, to separate a lot of inmates like they used to. So you very well could be housed with the crazy, a molester, or an murderer. You know what I mean? You could very well these days, because these jails don't have enough room to keep spreading people in. With the increase in crime violence, gun violence, especially when it comes to these RICO charges, when you have to arrest like anywhere from 10 or more people all at once, it can get very, very complicated, because that's a lot of individuals to try to house at one time. So y'all get my drift. Which brings me to the next thing. A lot of things that we take for granted out here. The biggest thing about jail, that we hear about it all the time, but I don't think y'all really understand the inner frustration of having to constantly share your space. If you somebody who embraces isolation, you need me time, you need that time for yourself, I'm going to let you know now, if you ever get incarcerated for a crime this severe, privacy is no longer an option for you. Isolation, unless you're in protective custody, or unless you're in AG-SAG because you're known to be a major threat to the officers and inmates, they'll put you in AG-SAG, which is called the hole, which really sucks. It sucks terrible. Okay, you think you want to be by yourself, but that's a whole different level of isolation. Being in between them four walls and just a toilet and a cemented bed, it could really take a toll on your mental. So unless you're a well-known snitch and your safety is a major hazard, hazardous conditions at this point, I don't think you want isolation. Not like that. For the most part, you're going to be in general population. I think for these individuals, because it's high profile, they're probably not going to let them be general population. Because Julio, most likely, especially if they are in that same county where he was unalive, he has a lot of homeboys or friends that are probably incarcerated and locked up. There's no way that jail is going to allow any of these individuals to be in general population. I know at the last jail where I worked at, where there was a high profile rapper who was who was involved in a situation, we could not allow him to be in general population, because we know that high profile, whether criminals or suspects, those who did the unaliving, or those who are famous or well known and are in the jail off of other charges, and it don't necessarily have to be murder, it could be all kind of other charges. We know that if they get in general population, it becomes a risk to the jail and the inmates, because being that they have a lot of money, inmates are going to try to capitalize off of that, going to try to bully them. You got to realize that in prison, famous people don't have security guard, they don't have protection. So the best thing they do to eliminate that is to put them in isolation. So I think that's what's going to happen with them. I don't think they're going to be in general population. I just had to sip my drink, y'all. Now, when they go to prison, that's a whole nother story. Prison, anything goes. They're going to be a general population and all of that. As R. Kelly. R. Kelly is in general population, even though he's a high profile, and not because he unalived somebody, just because of his fame, and supposedly they may be letting him out, but that's another story, right? So, you got to share your space, meaning if you go in your bathroom right now, put a whole nother grown man or grown woman in there with you. That is what you're going to have to deal with for the rest of your duration while you're incarcerated, okay? Picture your tub be in your bed and picture another bed over your bed and y'all got to share that one toilet. Okay? You got to constantly share your space. And for someone who's, you know, and for most part, I think most human beings, it becomes inhumane when you never are privileged to having just some time for yourself. You know, and that's why in jail it gets chaotic. These inmates start fighting with one another because they're frustrated. They start fighting, getting into it, because that person is always in your space. It's no different than a husband and wife. You got to have some time apart. You cannot constantly be cooped up in each other's space too long. Everybody needs a break. So when it comes to sharing cells, for one, you don't get to pick and choose who your cellie is going to be. In an event you are assigned to someone you don't like, they're not going to remove you just because you don't like that person. Something has to happen. A fight. They have to have stolen something from you. It's sad that they're not going to remove you from a cell until something bad happens. It's because it's jail. Jail is not the Hyatt. It's not the Marriott. They're not going to take the time to accommodate you by making your life easy and put you in a cell with somebody you like. Now, good officers, if they have a little compassion for their job, they're not going to just house and assign you in a cell with anybody. For instance, when I was there, and we had a young guy who just, you know, was arrested and was dressed down and came to my unit in his uniform, and I had to pick a cell for him. Most likely, I'm not going to put him, you know, with the old cellie. You know, I'm not going to put him with somebody 60, 70 years old, because I know that's already going to be conflict. Or if there's a inmate who I know is a white racist inmate, and I know he's a black male, I'm not going to put him, you know what I'm saying, in the same cell, because I know what's going to happen with him. Now, if I do so happen to get an inmate that's a white racist, you know, I'm most likely going to probably put him with his own kind. You know, I'm not going to put, it's basically common sense for any officer who has any kind of compassion, and you want to keep the temperature down to a minimum in your wing. You're going to use your common sense and make the best judgment and house inmates with a certain personality, you know, with the right type of person. It's never going to be 100% comfortable. But in most instances, most officers don't care because they're tired, they burnt out. They're going to put whoever the hell, anybody in that cell. They don't have time to be trying to accommodate you. And you have some inmates that's like that. You know, they'll tell you, man, why you pick my cell? Why you ain't put him over here? Why you ain't put him over there? Look, this is not your cell. You don't get to decide who I put in here with you. This is the other part about sharing cells. Sometimes you get lucky and you can go for several weeks and not have to share your cell with nobody. I know when we had that COVID, it was a more comfortable experience, because once somebody had been diagnosed with COVID, we automatically isolated them. So they had a cell to themselves, I mean, for the most part, right? But most of the time, your cellie, you know, can come unexpectedly. You can have a cell to yourself for like a month, which this rarely happens, but just hypothetically, you can have it by yourself for a month, or by yourself for 2-3 weeks. You done got used to having your own space. You done got used to nobody being in there snoring, farting, you know, taking a dump. You've been able to take your own dump, deal with your own crap peacefully. You ain't got to share somebody else's odor from the corn and the mystery meat y'all ate from chow the night before. So you kind of find your little comfort zone, only to get a bam, pam, pam, and you abruptly woken up out your sleep, and here it is, some dude entering your cell with their blanket, with their little duffel bag, and it's like, now I'm gonna have to get used to this nigga being here. I done had my space this long. Now all your little books, your little snacks, everything you was using the empty bed for, you got to remove all of that stuff to accommodate this new cellie that's coming in. You know, that's like, imagine you having your own house and you've been living there all these months, and officers knock on the door, you know, and tell you, hey, this person is moving in with you. You're going to be like, what the hell? I mean, this is everyday jail life. You can become so comfortable in your own nest, and they can abruptly change things for you at any given time. This is one of the most frustrating parts about being in jail. Don't think that once they assign you somewhere, that's where you're going to always be. Don't think that if they assign a certain cellie to you, that's going to always be your cellie. Let's say you get lucky and you find that you housed in with the cellie that's cool, laid back, give you no problems. He looks out for you. Y'all even share snacks, commissary, cool vibes, no problems. They abruptly decide to remove him and exchange him out for another cellie. That's going to piss you off and make you feel some type of way. Because you in that kind of environment, you know you can pretty much end up with anything. And especially when you didn't do nothing bad. And that's the thing about living in a jail. You don't have to do nothing bad. Rules change every day. It got nothing to do with you being a good inmate. Got nothing to do with you being a laid back inmate. The jail is always changing. You can be in a good, comfortable spot and it'll change. And I see how a lot of inmates get frustrated because jail is constantly changing. They don't want to be told, we got to move you out your cell, when they done got used to that cell. And being put in another unit where the cell is different, the bed is different, the officer is different. You done got used to this unit over here. Well, you used to this officer being cool and laid back. You use this officer will let you take an extra towel, even though y'all supposed to only have one. That officer will let you get 2 towels. You know, this new unit over here, this jail is stricter. I mean, this unit is stricter. You got the nasty CO. No, you only gonna get 1 towel. No, you only allowed to come out 1 time. It's very frustrating. This is why inmates lash out, become very outraged and irritated, and you deal with all these outbursts is because they're tired of the constant changes for nothing. And guess what? The way the jail looks at it, the jail don't owe you to have to tell you about the changes. And in many instances they don't, because if it prepares you, it makes you act out before those changes, you know, actually are enforced. You feel me? It's been times I had to hold my composure knowing that unit was going to close down, you know, especially when I got along with the inmates and they got along with me. I knew that they were all going to get assigned to another unit the next day because, you know, the jail was short-staffed. There's not enough officers to spread amongst each unit. So they had to close down one unit, which means all the officers are going to be split up all over again, and all the inmates are going to be split all over again. Believe it or not, the officers, we hate the change just as much as the inmates do. But that's the jail. The jail don't give a damn about how nobody feel. We're going to change it. We don't care how comfortable you are. So it's been times I knew that this was going to be my last night, you know, being in this unit. When I got along with all the inmates knew how I operated. I didn't have to retrain them. I didn't have to make them relearn me, only to be abruptly told, okay, you're going to be assigned to unit 4. Now I got to relearn these inmates. These inmates got to relearn me. It's very frustrating, but it's more frustrating for the inmates, because an officer, you can leave, you can quit, you know, at some point you're going home, so you can adjust to some of the changes a little bit better. But the inmates on the other hand don't. And the next morning, it was like 5 in the morning, we had to abruptly wake everybody up and tell them, y'all are being relocated. Huh? What? Why they relocating us? I don't know. Actually, I do know, but I can't tell them that. And me, honestly, if I told them, it's not going to change anything. You feel what I'm saying? Little things we take for granted. You know, you constantly being taken out your element. This is the unpleasant part about jail. This is the little minor tedious stuff they don't talk about. They could change stuff on you. Not only that, let's talk about hygiene, body odor. Some of these inmates don't like to wash their ass. Period. Okay? You could very well end up in this predicament, and what you get housed with an inmate that does not believe in taking a bath, a shower. They don't do baths, showers. Some of these individuals never had good hygiene. They have poor hygiene, and those same habits from the streets follow them to the jail. Now imagine if they, out the blue, bring a homeless person to you that night who has been sleeping on the streets for months and never washed. Can you imagine sharing the size of a bathroom with a homeless person who have not washed? Okay? Or sharing the cell with a big guy who sweats a lot. This can be very overwhelming. Like I said, this is little stuff that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to now becoming a new inmate in a correctional facility. Everybody don't like to wash. Now, I have had inmates come to me and say, yo, CO, can you please make this dude wash? I couldn't sleep last night. My nose was burning. I tossed and I turned. Not only that, some of these dudes like to jack off at night, beat their meat, and they baby gravy is all over the place. And some of them are nasty enough that they don't even have enough of respect for their cellie, where they will wipe their baby gravy. They won't clean it up. You know, most jails are going to provide you at least with tissue and soap. Some of these dudes are nasty. Now, for the most part, they don't house women. Well, I know the last jail I was at, but it's different jails. Each jail has a different way on how they do things. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But if you're a good officer, and I had an inmate come to me, tell me, hey, this is what I'm losing my mind. CO, this dude don't wash. I'm going to beat the brakes off of him. I will politely pull the inmate aside. Hey, man, I noticed since you've been here, you ain't took a shower. Well, I don't like to shower, this, and that. Hey, I get it, but look here. I worry about your safety. It's all kind of bugs and stuff going on around here. I just want you to take a shower so you can feel comfortable. I don't want you, you know, to stand the risk of you inviting any type of parasites or something into your body because you're not taking a shower. I know how to play it off without throwing another inmate up under the bus and creating conflict. I've had that happen. I've had men who don't like to wash, and inmates want to beat them down for it. You know, I had grown men come to me and beg, CO, please tell him to wash. Please give him some soap. Please, you know, this is what comes with the jail. You may get somebody who don't like to wash their ass housed in the same cell with you. Good officers gonna look out for you. An officer who tired, hate their job, can't stand what they do, they just there for a paycheck. They don't care about you bitching about your cellie don't wash. They'll let you suffer with it. Little things we take for granted. Just body odor. You gonna have to deal with that. That's a grown man in your cell. That's a grown woman or whatever. You can't tell them, you know, you need to change your maxi pad. And women, women who have poor hygiene, they're the worst. And we could only get on them but so much. But for the most part, jails are pretty strict about that. They're not really gonna let an inmate go for weeks at a time and not wash. It's just, you know, and some piss up on themselves, you know. They got weak bladders, can't control that, you know. Some of them have disabilities, you know, where they wheelchair bound. You know, you may have an inmate that struggles getting to the bathroom on their own, you know, not able to wipe themselves properly, still leaving odor behind. It's a lot because you're living with strangers and they keep changing cellmates on you. You may have a good cellmate. They're going to change them. You're not going to have them that long. I'm going to just let you know that. Also, another deal with sharing cells is you got to deal with a lot of, well, not just sharing cells. This comes with being a new inmate, period. It's stealing. Stealing is really, really bad in the county jail. You got a lot of dudes out here that's suffering, struggling. They don't have family that put money on the books. They don't have nobody that looks out for them and give them commissary. Especially, I notice this with the senior citizens more than the younger people. But it's a lot of more younger inmates that will steal. You cannot leave your cell unattended. Plenty of times inmates been too lazy and wanting to just close their door back because the door lock on them, and they got to wait till the officer's available. So they'll just keep it cracked. That way they can take a shower and come back. But there's a risk with that. While you're taking your shower, there's a inmate who is plotting because that's what they have to do. They don't have money coming to them, so they constantly looking for somebody to slip. They're constantly looking for somebody to mess up. Jail is all about survival by any means necessary. And if you are an inmate who does not have family, who does not have anybody who looks out for you, you're only mandated by the policy of the jail to only get the basic necessities. The jail don't have to give you commissary. Long as they give you breakfast, lunch, dinner, that's it. Commissary is a privilege. And let's face it, jail food isn't always the best. There's some guys that eat more commissary than jail food, because at least with commissary is more close to outside food within the world, like honey buns, oatmeal cream pies. That's as close as you're going to get to real food on the outside, okay, without actually leaving the jail, going to the store. But that jail food is not always good. The jail hot dogs is not regular hot dogs. The jail hamburger is not like a Wendy's burger. So a lot of these guys, their commissary means everything to them. You know, because that's as close as you're going to get to a real meal. Commissary, you also get ramen noodles. So you get other things other than just junk and cookies, right? But what about the inmate that's in a struggle, that don't have family, putting $200-300 on his books, and he's only limited to the basic jail necessities? He's going to get desperate. He's going to wait for another inmate that's, you know, negligent or whatever, comfortable, complacent. Soon as you leave your cell crack, they bust up through your cell while you in the shower, stealing all your oatmeal, cream pies, potato chips, everything, and sneaking and hiding, and they sell with it. You get out the shower, come to your cell, half of your snacks gone. You're going to have to wait all the way till next week to re-up. You know, I've seen a lot of fights go down like that. I mean, jail is one of them places where everything is dog eat dog, everything is survival. Somebody steal from you. It definitely pisses you off because things don't come easy. You got to wait to reorder all that stuff. The commissary people only come there once a week. Not only that, you want to keep your respect, because if one person was able to get away with stealing your snacks and there was no repercussion, it sends messages. It sends the wrong message to other struggling inmates or whatever. Shit, I could do the same thing. I'm gonna wait for him to go to the shower, and next time I'm gonna hit him. It opens the doors to a lot of problems, and that's why as officers we're always getting on inmates and reinforcing rules about locking your stuff down, securing your doors. A lot of them try to be slick too, and they leave their doors open because they made a bet with somebody, and they know if we see them passing snacks or passing contraband or something, we're gonna write them up. So they'll just say, hey man, I'm just go to the shower, I'm gonna leave my cell cracked, and you can go in there and get the honey buns that I owe you off my bed. You know, they do all kind of little slick shit like that. It seems harmless, but it causes biggest problems. You know what I mean? This is what these guys gonna be dealing with. Jail is a damn zoo. You got snakes, you got pit bulls, you got individuals that are out to devour you, waiting for you to slip, waiting for you to be lazy, waiting for you to be dumb. You know what I mean? And they capitalize off of that. Another frustrating part about being in jail is the rules are always changing. I'm always getting inmates that, I got inmates who would get upset every time there was a change that took place. And they would think I had something to do with the change. A lot of times it's the correctional officers that get the direct impact of disrespect every time a rule changes. One time I was assigned to a certain unit, they used to have 2 hours out. But because one inmate messed it up with the contraband, doing something dumb, the new rule of that particular unit was they can no longer have 2 hours out. They can only have 1 hour out. And I remember that change got made. It had to be made on my watch. And I abruptly had to tell them that. You know, I had to let them know, hey, I'm getting ready to let you guys out for your 1 hour rec. And, you know, of course, they're yelling through their doors. What the fuck you mean, 1 hour? We're supposed to have 2 hours. We have 2 hours every day. I understand, gentlemen, but this rule just changed 10 minutes to me entering on shift. What? Man, that's effed up, man. What the fuck, man? Alright, listen. I didn't make this change. Y'all got a problem with it? File a grievance. Submit your grievance or whatever to lieutenant, sergeant, whatever. They would literally take it out on me, like I had something to do with it. Some of the other inmates, they understood, like, man, that shit sucks, but tight, you know, they know I didn't make that call. You know what I mean? So sorry, problem with that, y'all. I think I have bumped something. But yeah, so anyway, they get upset with you. That's what come with jail. Rules change every day, whether you good or bad. So y'all don't get 2 hour rec time no more. You get 1 hour, and all it takes is one person to mess it up and do something dumb. Happens all the time. Okay? Used to go from getting 3 calls a day, now you're gonna get 1 call a day. What you mean I can only get 1 call? I mean, I call my grandmama, my girlfriend, and my side chick. Now I can only make 1 call a day. Yep, that's the new rule. Man, what the fuck, man? I'm gonna report y'all. I'm gonna report y'all to the commissioner. I'm gonna let them know y'all treating inmates inhumane. Y'all not giving us our rights. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, I couldn't do nothing with it, but respectfully let them know, hey, you know, you're welcome to report this. You're welcome to file a grievance. Now, ask, did it change anything? No, it didn't, but we have to give them that right to do that. And that's what these guys are going to find out. You know, every day changes, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So never get used to anything. I don't care if they let you out 3 hours and then they can change tomorrow and say, we only let you out for 30 minutes. You know, let you make your phone calls. You usually get visitation, 3 days out the week. Now they decide to change it to 1 day out the week. Now you got to call your family, everybody in your family, let them know, hey, they can only come down there once a week. It's very frustrating. Like I said, it ain't the big stuff, it's the little stuff. Which brings me to the next thing. Your family forgets you. This is a no-brainer. But a lot of people don't understand. I've had a lot of inmates who get frustrated when they don't hear from their baby mama. They don't hear from their parents. They don't hear from their siblings. The commissary, slowly but surely, they're not keeping up with the commissary anymore. They not put money on the books like they used to. And family is everything when you're incarcerated, because they are your lifeline. That's all you got. You can't trust these clowns in the inside. These ones who start off looking out for you, giving you commissary, giving you food, giving you... It's going to get old. Sooner or later, y'all going to fall out. If y'all don't fall out, one of y'all is going to be shipped up north in prison. One of y'all is going to be transferred to another unit. You never can keep your same connect. The way the jail is designed, you're not going to be able to keep your same connect. They keep changing stuff around. People keep getting relocated, or they get in trouble, end up having to go to the hole. Something's always going on. So you can't never be 100% comfortable. So the only stability you really have is your family. Being able to call your wife, call your siblings, call your parents. They're the only stable resource you have. In the initial beginning, you know, if your time is not too long, the less chances of you being forgotten about. If you're only there for a couple of years, you know, like a year or two, there's better chances of family kind of keeping up with you. But when you're talking about years, and we know that is definitely going to be the case with these individuals, family definitely, they're going to start dropping one by one, because it gets expensive, you know, taking care of inmates from the outside. Now, I haven't personally done it, but 1 or 2 times I had, you know, family that been in that situation, you know, just loading up time on my phone so they could call me was getting expensive. You know, put money on their books. Let me tell you, the food inside the jail, you can get at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. The same size chips at the Dollar Tree for $1.25, they charge $5 in there. The jail is a the jail is a business, okay? It's not even about protecting the inmates. It's not even about protecting the officers. It's a business, because the jail has to pay the officers. The jail has to pay the nurses. And it's the warden or the sheriff who's getting the bulk of the money. And is living fat off of steak and lobster, you know what I mean? While the bottom officers are like the shrimp at the bottom of the sea, you know, scraping up all the doo-doo. You get what I'm saying? It's the higher ranks, you know, that get a more laid back position in which they're not stressing near as much. It's basically a business. Commissary is expensive. A honey bun is what? $1 and some change out here. It's like $5 in there, $3 in there. And we talk about the same little Debbie honey bun. Nothing special, nothing fancy. Like I said, stuff you see in the Dollar Tree. Your family got to pay for this. You can't pay for it. Now you can work, get a little job, and that helps also to keep your mind at ease. But most of the time, I know the county where I was, if you have a murder charge, you're not allowed to do any inmate work. You're not allowed to become a trustee. They don't call it trustees anymore. They call it inmate worker. You cannot become an inmate worker with a felony. Now, every jail is different, but when I was at, I've had guys that had felony charges and didn't have the sources as far as family looking out for them and put money on the books, so they want to work. You know, whether if it's in the kitchen, whether if it's janitorial, they want to work and do something in the jail, so that way they could buy their own commissary and buy their own boxers and t-shirts and stuff like that. You get tired of just wearing the same one boxer and a one shirt that the state gives you. I think the state gives you two t-shirts and 2 shorts, and that's it. You get tired of rotating the same thing over and over, especially when laundry is only once a week. So you want to buy, you know, your little stuff you learn in jail. The only way you're going to survive, you got to get some kind of money, or you got to have some stable resources. When you have a felony, unless you got family that's going to look out for you, you're in trouble. Now, prison, like I said, is different. But at the county jail, inmates that have any type of felonies, they are not eligible to become an inmate worker. FYI. I've had a couple of mothers ask me that. Well, my son, matter of fact, I had one, a girlfriend of mine, I no longer work for the jail, but you know, I have ties there, I got people, whatever, right? And her son is in there for double homicide, right? And I guess her son was getting frustrated just sitting in that cell day in and day out, getting bored, nothing to do, you know what I mean? I don't care how many times you talk to your family, gets bored after a while. How much new stories, new adventures, how much can y'all talk about on the phone, right? So she reached out to me. She said, hey, you know, I know you used to work there at such and such county. My son, you know, wants to be able to get a job out there, but they keep denying him, and he's not understanding why. I said, well, what is your son in there for? She tells me a double homicide. I told her right off the muscle, I'm going to let you know now, because of that, they're not going to allow him to work. Now, when he gets to prison, that's another story. Jail, no. And by him being young, like these individuals we see here, he's not thinking that deep. He's not thinking jail got all type of restrictions. You thought your parents were strict. Even though you didn't live by the code of law enforcement, as far as you didn't think nothing was wrong with taking another individual's life, but here you got a lot of rules. Every county jail is different. If you have a felony, no, you cannot work. You will sit in your cell. They can't trust you with that level of a crime. That speaks volumes with your personality, you as a person. And even though it was a one-time thing, jail don't care about that. Jail see you as a liability. They're gonna find that out. Being high profile, that's gonna triple suck. Anytime they go somewhere, they're gonna have to be escorted. If they go to the nurse, if they got to go take their medicine, whatever, they're gonna always have to have 2 officers escort them out their cell. No way in the world they're gonna transport any of these individuals through that jail by themselves like they would do general population. They're gonna always have to have double escorts. If there's enough officers, triple escorts. Meaning every time they take them out that jail to go to court, every time they take them out that cell to go to court, every time they take them out that cell to go to see the nurse, anytime they take them out that cell, it got to be 2 officers. Because you have to realize, even though they are isolated, when you take them through the jail, they're going to run into other inmates. Now, all you need is somebody who is friends with Julio or family. The one opportunity to see him, they're going to have to take it. There's been times where one officer was escorting an inmate and another officer, and in passing by each other, because that beef or that animosity was there, they took that moment to fight and scuffle it out. And what? We had to go on the radio and call a code 13. No, we had to call a signal 1, which means these inmates are fighting in the hall. So it's no 100% guarantees that even if you're being transported somewhere, you're not going to run into an enemy. You're not going to run into an ops. And your ops may very well, especially if they know they're going to do years anyway, they don't have nothing to lose, snuffing you as you walk down the hallway. They don't care for another officer right there. They might not hurt the officer, but they'll beat you down. I've seen it happen. Escorting an inmate to the nurse to get his exam done, only for him to stumble across one of his ops that just came from the nurse, and they duking it out. Like, I ain't never gonna see this guy again, so I got to pound him while on sight, as they say. I got to get him on sight. It's the tedious stuff. Family, like I said, I kind of lost track, but family forgets about you in there. After a while, they get tired of sending money because you're there indefinitely. It's going to be hard for somebody that's going to be an indefinite provider. Why? Because they have to survive out here. Your family got to pay bills, rent steadily going up. They got mortgages. They got stuff they got to deal with. Family forget about you. I've seen inmates be miserable, fall into a state of depression. What's going on with you, Jackson? Why are you tripping, man? My family, they don't give a damn about me. I ain't been getting no commissary in 2 weeks. I done called my baby mama, she ain't answering. I called my daddy. Look, when you get locked up, you give people on the outside the power to treat you all kind of way. They get to dictate how you survive. If they want to put money on the books, they'll put it on there. If you get into an argument with them, or they find out you did something, and all this time they be looking out for you, they can shut down the operation and stop sending you money, stop sending you commissary. I've seen guys break down like children. Cause what don't mean nothing to you out here, it means everything to you once you in there. You need to hear your mama's voice. You need to check that commissary and know that your family got you. You run out of stuff quick in there. You run out of soap. You run out of snacks. You run out of and the psychology of boredom. Yeah, every once in a while you'll be able to play cards. You'll be able to play checkers and stuff like that. But it's still nothing like having your freedom. It starts weighing in on you. These guys, when they first come in there, they're okay the first couple of months because it feels like a vacation. You sleeping all day, you eating all day, you ain't got to worry about no bills, you ain't got to worry about no truck, no car note. You don't care about it because it seems like it's just a little vacation. But as it goes to 6 months, as it goes to a year, as it goes to 2, as it goes to 3, I've seen grown men break down in between those walls. Because the reality sinks in when you know you're not getting out of there. the harsh reality of every time as an officer I say pack it up, and you know you'll never be able to hear that. Only the inmate who's in here for a misdemeanor or a probation violation, they only have to spend a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and they get to go home. But because you're in there for a top tier felony crime, like you murdering somebody or attempted murder, which we call it aggravated assault here in the state of Georgia, you know you never gonna get those. You never gonna hear those words, pack it up. And it frustrates you every time you see an inmate going out that door, because you know that'll never be you. Every time you see an officer walk out that door, even though you cussed that officer out all day because you was frustrated, even though you turned up and acted a clown because you needed that moment to just vent your frustration and dump your trash on somebody else's lap, them people, once they leave those doors, they can mentally release themselves from that. You, on the other hand, you're still hot and bothered because you know you are stuck there for life. That is the psychological aggravation that a lot of these individuals that you see right here on the screen before you, they're in for a rude awakening. They're in for, if they got kids, their kids are going to be growing up on them. They're in for when they loved ones pass away, mama pass away, grandmama pass away, they'll never go to the funeral because they've been stopped doing that. Jails don't, not too many prison systems, they don't let inmates go to funerals and stuff anymore because it's liability. Inmates be escaping and doing all kind of foul stuff, so they don't do that no more. Every year, I know my cousin been in and out of prison for years, and every time he done got locked up, he lost a loved one. He missed several funerals, since he's been in and out of being incarcerated. It's just the psychological part of, you have your days, some days you in a good mood, you eating good, you have your commissary, you laugh, you joke, with other inmates. It's you have your fun days, but it's gonna be more worse days than good ones. Having to deal with other niggas that's constantly trying you, sizing you up, disrespecting you. Eventually you gonna have to prove your worth there. You gonna have to prove you're not weak. Dealing with these different officers, a lot of officers are nasty, and I'm gonna let you know that firsthand. I witnessed other officers be nasty for no reason, and as an inmate, you can't do nothing about it. Some officers are cool; they'll understand, let you make an extra phone call. Let you volunteer to mop the floor so you can get out the cell and get some fresh air, you know what I mean, while your inmate taking a crap. But you got most officers, they nasty. They love their authority, they love being in control, and they just love making things complicated for you. For every nasty inmate, there's a nasty officer. You have the cool officers who get the nasty inmates, and you have the laid back inmates that get the nasty officers. They both kind of go hand in hand. Some of these officers are there just for a paycheck. They don't care if your child died that day. You may need to make an extra phone call or two because you need some comfort. Okay, life happens. I'm gonna need you locked back down. You got a lot of officers that's very insensitive, and it does catch up with them eventually. Their nastiness will cause them to lose their profession. Eventually, they got to face these same inmates who they was pissing on in the streets. You got to be very careful. A lot of inmates I ran into them in the streets. But because I had that respect in the jail, I didn't have to worry about that smoke. I always pretty much stayed in my place, you know what I mean, for the most part. So you don't have to worry about that. You could transition and go in the streets as long as you know how to handle and treat individuals as human beings, even in your uniform, you feel me? These individuals, they got some long days ahead, this is just the beginning. They're gonna have to deal with jail, they're gonna have to deal with trial. These ain't shit lawyers that sit up there and make you believe they got all of this hope in the world that they're going to be able to, get this case dismissed. A lot of these lawyers are liars. I've seen so many inmates get betrayed by their own lawyers till they ain't even funny. Believe it or not, some of these lawyers are prejudiced. You know, they want to see you as a black man stay locked up. You know, they'll take your money and make it seem like they have your best interest. And if any of them mean any good, they'll fight to help you win. You know, and leave their personal prejudices aside, because if they get a track record of having winning cases, especially when it comes to black males, that's how they build their clientele. You know, some of them are just downright nasty. You know, they will lie to you, lie to your mama. If you don't know the law, your parents don't know the law, they'll sit there and make you believe, oh yeah, we can get you out of this. Oh, this is nothing. We can get this dropped tomorrow. You sitting up there holding on to false hopes, and they know good damn well, because they hang out with the judge, they hang out with the other lawyer, the district attorney that's against you. They hang out with these individuals. They have drinks with these individuals. Hey man, if you do this and do that, I'll pay you. You know, it's real. It is grime everywhere. It's grime in the system. The officers are grimy. The judges are grimy. The lawyers are grimy. Another thing, as an inmate, you get in these facilities, don't be pissing officers off. All that cussing officers out because you got a bad day. All that being disrespectful. And I don't say this because you need to kiss the officer's ass. But what I'm saying is that once you get a reputation as being a tyrant or a terrorist, what happens is that officer notifies other officers. So when the next officer comes in, they're already going to have a preconceived judgment about you based off of an officer you done piss off. And what these officers do is they get together and they'll tell, hey, don't look out for that one there. He nasty. Don't let this one get an extra phone call. I used to do nice stuff for him, and once he got used to it, he started showing his true colors. You know, I used to try to give him a break. Officers will tell other officers how you get down. My advice to any of these guys or people who get locked up first time, be the inmate that nobody knows. Be the one that people forget about you until they see you. Once you get that reputation as being obnoxious, rude, disrespectful, once all the officers become familiar with your first name and your last name, you're already in for a rude awakening, because every officer is going to make it their business to make your time a living hell while you there until you get transferred to the actual prison. But I can go on and on. It's a whole lot I could say about it, but at this point it's pretty tedious. You know, I think y'all pretty much got the basic scenario of what's going on here. Yeah, these individuals, it's fun and games now, but it's going to start to wear on them thin. It's going to wear on them mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Not to mention the families that are going to get affected by it. The parents, if they got children. The whole world on the outside is going to keep moving on without them. As the saying goes, don't make permanent decisions based off of temporary feelings. That's what they did. I wouldn't be surprised if none of these individuals personally knew Julio, but nevertheless, because of street code, politics, street loyalty, whatever the case is, they made this decision, and it's going to forever impact their lives. Definitely rest in peace to Julio Fulio's mother, family, friends, whatever. Hopefully any of these other young black men who are involved in some shape or form, hopefully they take this as a hint and do better with their lives. Those are these individuals here. At this point, I can't wish them anything. They deserve what they get coming to them, and I feel that way about anybody who unalives anybody. I don't care who you are or what set you from or whatever. You can't make these type of decisions, take somebody's life, and don't think it's not going to come back and haunt you. It's going to come back on you one way or another. If not through the law, you got the law of karma. Either way, it was going to come back at some form or another. Definitely my heart goes out to all those who have been affected by this. Parents who probably did the best they could. They found these individuals in a nice suburb neighborhood. It's sad, but all of these kids are not troubled kids. Some of them come from good families. Some of them live in nice neighborhoods, and for some reason they are drawn or attracted to that street life. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this, right? Very, very sad situation. It's unfortunate. that young men that could have been an asset to the black communities. These young men could have became lawyers, doctors, could have owned their own businesses, could have started their own record label, putting other young black men on. It's sad, y'all. I'm so tired of seeing young black men just, you know, become another statistic. Either they going to prison or they going to the grave. It's very unfortunate. You know what the sad part is? It's not going to end. Somebody else's son is going to be dying behind this. But anyway, y'all take care. Make sure y'all hit that like button before you leave. Let me know what you think about this content. Again, big ups to all of my subscribers, all of my mods. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Be safe out there. Pray over your children. If y'all see any signs or indications that your children, your son, daughter is involved in any type of gang activity or other inappropriate street activity, definitely talk to them before it's too late. Reach them if you can reach them. For those you can't reach, when life catches up, at least your conscience could rest peacefully because you know you did your part as a parent. Y'all take care and be blessed. And again, hit that like button. Y'all have a good one.